So have you said things on the podcast? You're like, oh fuck, why did I say that?
Yeah, well, I did the Chevy Chase thing. I got out my phone.
Oh, that's right.
This is before. That's before, by the way, it was a podcast. That's actually kind of the reason it is a podcast now, is because what that was a show that I was doing in the back of this comic book store, where I don't know if you guys have done stand up there, The Meltdown, but it was just like a cabaret kind of audience. It was just like, oh, there's 150 people here, and I was like, comfortable by that time of sharing my frustrations of working with a living legend. Like I had done it so many times that I wasn't associating it with danger, like I didn't. Now I look back on it and I'm like, why did you pick up that firecracker? And like, but if you pull out from that footage, it's like I was just eating firecrackers all the time. It's just like that one happened to go TMZ. But what I did was it wasn't for the internet. It was just for this room full of people. I took out my phone and I had this voicemail from him that was particularly vitriolic. And I was like, I played it into the microphone. Somebody in the audience recorded that. They put it on the internet. And then it was like, oh man, that was a huge mistake. Like
when that story broke though, wasn't everybody saying that it was like a community rap party or something like that? That they didn't never put it into the context of.
That's what Chevy was talking about. That's why we were quote unquote feuding. By the time the story broke, we were already friends again. We were laughing about it, but it was like what had happened is at the rap party after a season that was very contentious. I made the joke. I kind of like the crew. Like I thought I was being like a white knight to the crew at the rap party and saying, okay, before we play the gag reel and I'll go home, like. I'm your boss. You can't get fired. So everybody on the count of three, just say, go ahead and say, fuck you, Chevy. And everybody very much participated.
Dude, there could literally be a series of just Chevy Chase stories, just animating them and then cutting to live action. I mean, the guy is a fucking legend.
Yeah.
He's a legend. The stories of this guy.
So he was like, he left when I did that. And there was this whole thing about, in front of my wife and kids. Well, his kids are 48. Like but like he
like middle-aged children.
How do I explain to my children?
He's got a colostomy bag. How could you do that in front of my child?
Exactly. You think 48 years in, they're confused as to whether or not their dad is an asshole?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was my defense. I was like, they know him.
Right.
Like they've had to work with him longer than anybody. I hope it's clear. I know I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have done that. But at the rap party or otherwise. But what?
Him and the family just walked out when you did that?
Yeah, he just left. I mean, rap parties aren't that fun anyway. But
he was there when you said "fuck you, Chevy"?
Yeah.
Oh, so you kind of just breaking his balls in front of everybody? And
yeah, because he has.
You can't say you didn't know what was going to happen. Were you drunk?
What do you mean? I'm sure I was. It was after 3.
Okay, now it all makes sense.
But it was supposed to be like about blue collar camaraderie. It was like, here's this guy that's been controlling our lives for a season, who like is sometimes responsible for some really uncomfortable moments. Like I'm gonna do you the favor of letting you say this out loud. So it's like kind of a lynch mob. Like no one will be. It's a firing squad. Like no one's accountable.
He obviously had no sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I think he was I mean, he has a great sense of humor. He's not a thin-skinned guy at all, but he's also like he I was being a dick to him, so he was like offended by that.
Was he shocked that people saw him that way? Sometimes people don't see themselves that way, and then all of a sudden when the whole crew goes "fuck you," you're like, "Wow, am I interpreted that way by them?"
I don't know. I can't get inside
Which
that.
makes that person even more hateable.
Yes.
It's like at least we thought you knew.
No self-awareness.
It's like how you fucking treated me that way, and you had no idea that would annoy me. Like people when they
the lack of self-awareness makes them
what
hateable.
People like that do? They do a lot of double hands to the chest. Like I wasn't. That fucking thing. You're just like fuck you.
Yes.
I think
they're the worst. That was like when that publicist backed over those 16 people. Do you remember that? And
I do.
She got away with it on Long Island.
Gruber, I think, or
yeah. And the picture of her in the post, she had both hands like to her chest, like I didn't see that entire mob of people.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it's weird his relationship with other people that he's working with versus his relationship with the public. Like I've never seen a bigger man of the people like on the Paramount lot. Like he would, if anytime there was a tour, you'd walk around the corner and he'd just be holding court, telling people stories about Fletch and stuff, and everyone is like freaking out. I saw him there was a guy doing. We had a hot dog vendor outside the stage once, and he starts going, "Oh, holy crap, Chevy Chase! I can't fucking believe my sister's gonna freak out." He's like, "What's your? Give me, where's your sister?" And he gets out his phone, and Chevy Chase grabs the guy's phone after he dials his sister's number, walks off for 20 minutes, and is like bullshitting with his sister. The guy is like freaking out. I mean, so it's weird, like how heroic and noble he was, like to what he saw as the consumer. But I think he saw everybody. That was a weird speech impediment. I think he saw like everybody that he kind of shared the camera with. He's a soloist, and he's kind of playfully competitive, and like kind of like sees it as a competition. Like he never saw it as a team event.
Maybe said that SNL background. I don't know.